Your high sex drive is causing anxiety in the relationship. You think so? Because it is. It is. Now you might be like, "Oh, how could it be me? I'm the normal one here. I actually like sex, unlike my partner who doesn't seem to like it or doesn't want it anymore. It's natural, right? To want it all the time or however much you want it. That's a natural way, right? Uh, Here's a couple of things. First of all, your partner with the lower sex drive than you, as you probably know, they have the power in the relationship as far as sex is concerned, right? You probably know that. And I'm guessing, I'm mind reading, but for many of you, you're probably feeling resentful. You're probably feeling a whole host of other things. You're probably feeling, for many of you, not loved, because it's often the case that the person with the higher sex drive tends to equate love with sex. Sex equals love, love equals sex. So you might feel unloved when you're rejected by your partner. So you're probably doing things like begging. You're probably making jokes about sex. You're probably making sexual innuendos, right, all the time, because it's always on your mind. You're not getting that fulfillment. You're not getting that love, that intimacy. Here's the thing about that. Begging, especially if it's done by a male in Western culture, by anybody, but especially that, because it's a cultural thing, is not seen as attractive. Whenever you're begging for sex, when you're making those allusions to sex or jokes about sex or passive aggressive comments, or that's what she said, or everything's about sex, when you're bringing it up constantly, you're probably putting far more pressure on your partner, regardless of your partner's gender. In this case, if you're begging or putting pressure, you're making it less attractive for your partner. So just stop the begging right there. They know you want sex. Oh man, do they know? That's all that they're thinking about. Oh man, they want sex all the time. They know it. Stop begging. It's not sexy. It's not attractive. It's not confident. It's a weak way to be. So just stop that right away. Stop begging specifically, and then also pull back off in initiating for a while, or at least a bit. So maybe try coming up with some sort of ground rules. What would that be? And I'm kind of reading these off. I want to make sure I get all the things that I want to talk about. But acknowledge, and you both know this, but that you are the one that initiates sex most or all the time, because it probably is the case, right? Maybe sometimes they do, but generally it's you. Let's just, again, get on the same page. So just call it what it is, right? Clearly I'm the one that initiates it. So what if we limit the amount of time that I initiate it? So I only initiate it, once a week or twice a week, or at a certain time or in a certain way. Or when I do this or this before bed, that means that if you're open, I'm open. But don't do that every single day, right? Don't do that every day. Just know that when I turn the light this way, or when I get ready for bed this way, or whatever it is, when I brush my teeth, whatever it is for you guys. But that's a cue for your partner that if they want it, you'd be open. Like, you're probably always open for sex, but just bringing it up, because you might be available for sex anytime, because they're in a headspace where they probably, or possibly, I'm going to say probably, have what I call sort of these sexual cycles where some days they just clearly do not want it. They just don't feel it at all. And some days they might be. So they may not even get, even though they might intellectually, that you're ready to go at the drop of a hat, right? You could be in your deathbed, you're like, I could probably squeeze one more act in. But they don't think that way. So you make the little whatever you do to let them know, and they initiate. Okay, so have your little way of coming up with that. So if you do your little thing, you say it, you do your thing, and they don't initiate, let it go. No blaming, no hurt. Love them anyway. And I talk about, love languages, know what theirs is. Yours might be physical touch and sex, maybe some other things as well, but just let it go, right? Don't be all upset. Like, don't be like a child being rejected. So And again, I'm reading this, but this allows things to be a little bit more predictable. It might lower your partner's anxiety. I sometimes call them the speed bumps that are in the way for them, in the way of them being ready for sex or wanting sex or enjoying sex or whatever. So it kind of lowers their anxiety, makes them more likely to feel aroused, to want to be sexual with you. So just be more predictable for them, give them that space, and just see if things start to change. So reach out if you have any questions, reach out if you want any help from me personally, and I'll see you on the next video.